performance. The presentation was directed by Naila Azad, music production by Rokon Imon and Naila Azad, performed by Sudeshna Swayamprabha, Mokuna Mim, and Ume Habiba, and recitation by Naila Azad and Sadaf Saz. The piece was produced by Jatrik. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come near the end of our closing ceremony. I would now like to welcome on stage our honorable guest, Gitanjali Shri, to share a few words.
Head down.
Hello everyone, I'm here to say bye. It has been 5 amazing days for me, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to have this chance to say a few words before leaving. This has been a wonderful festival. I'm not here expressing just gratitude for all the warmth, appreciation, love and hospitality that have filled these few days, but want also to emphasize that the Dhaka Lit Fest is not just another one of those festivals that are mushrooming all around us. This is a veritable, literally cultural adda of its own kind. An adda where, by definition, reflection is not divorced from fun, and camaraderie trumps the most radical of differences. It has been a true celebration of the word, and readers and writers have got together in a rich, intense dialogue. And what an audience! Riveted and engaged, so much so that even their cell phones have fallen into deep, respectful silence and not disturbed the proceedings. I also want to take this opportunity to share with you what coming here has meant to me as an Indian. Am I a foreigner here? I don't feel like one. National boundaries, like all boundaries, are bridges meant to facilitate coexistence. That apart, there is so much between us, between you and me. No political administrative boundary can erode that common identity that binds us together. Another thing, I have traveled a fair bit in all my years, but most travels took me to Europe, and within Asia, only a teeny-weeny bit. And the Indian subcontinent gave me almost no opportunity to travel within it. That is the common tale of all South Asians. It took a recognition that came from the UK to open the subcontinent for me and allow me into Dhaka, to meet a people, my next door neighbors, with whom I share the same culture, and many of us, the language. Delighted as I am that this page has turned for me, it is something to ponder seriously. Isn't it high time we recognize each other without necessarily a mediation from elsewhere, and exercise the power to recognize the worth of literatures in our sister languages? That is where Dhaka Lit Fest can step in in an even bigger way. And all best wishes to you to take this association further, make it richer, higher, stopping not at any single language and literature, but embracing more and more of them from far as much as from near, and uniting the world in the best way possible. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gitanjali Shri. I'd now like to welcome on stage our esteemed guest, Nuruddin Farah, to share his remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be standing here and talking to you. And to remember when I first arrived in Dhaka. When I go back to Cape Town, which is where I live, one of the questions that I will be asked by many of my friends is going to be, what was it like? Are you going back? What were the people like? What happened? Who came? Who did what? And while I answer those questions, I will also be asked if this festival is different from the other festivals that I have attended, and I can assure you I've attended many, many of them all over the world. I will be asked these questions not out of curiosity, but out of knowing what I felt when I was here after I get back. I will also be asked about numbers. How many people were in the halls when you spoke? And here it is where I remember that in Islam, or the Islam in which I was brought up, we usually say the person is never alone anywhere, that there are angels on my shoulders registering everything I say, every nasty gossip that I make about other people, every kindness that I share with other people. And then there are a large number of jinns, a community of jinns who eat the food that I eat, but whom I cannot see. And when you count only myself and only myself, you will discover that there will be 8 of us. 1 of me, 4 jinns, and 2 angels, and 1 little Satan moving around telling me bad stories about everything. So when I am asked how many people were there, I will multiply 7 by every person who is in this hall, and I will say that Dhaka Festival was full of people, more than the number of people who attended the anniversary of Donald Trump. And it is in this spirit that I will also remember how well I have been fed. The food that I ate, it's very uncommon when one goes to festivals, and I have been to many, as I assure you, to be invited to the homes of the organizers every night and to feed you. In other words, to be allowed entrance into the private homes of people who've welcomed you to Dhaka. And because of this, I felt a great deal of warmth towards the organizers and towards the people of Bangladesh. And I thank you very much, because the organizers have represented you. And I thank you very much because you have been most kind, not only to me, but to many foreign and local guests that have attended this conference. And I have learned a lot, and I hope you too have learned a lot. And thank you then, and bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Nuruddin Farah. I'd now like to welcome on stage Mr. Zafar Sobhan, editor of the Dhaka Tribune, to share a few words. The Dhaka Tribune is the title sponsor of Dhaka Lit Fest 2023. Mr. Sobhan will be speaking on behalf of both Dhaka Tribune and Bangla Tribune.
Good evening, everyone. As this 10th Dhaka Lit Fest comes to a close, it's hard for me to believe, and I have to remind myself that this is the first one since November 2019, that we have gone more than 2 whole years without one after it has become an annual fixture since 2011. Such is the energy and vibrancy of the Dhaka Lit Fest, and so close is it to the heart of the people of Dhaka that it feels like it has never been away. And I can think of no greater compliment to pay this festival of ideas in those who have labored day and night for months on end to make it happen, than to say that DLF has truly become an integral part of the fabric of the life of this city. Thousands upon thousands of people, young and old, from all corners of the city and indeed the country, look forward to these 4 days, and this sense of familiarity is perhaps the Lit Fest's signal achievement. DLF is now an old friend, not just something people look forward to, but something they feel that they belong to, and that has become a part of them in their lives. I want to take this opportunity to thank the 3 directors of DLF, Sadaf Saz, Qazi Anis Ahmed, and Ehsan Akbar. In the incredible, unbelievable DLF team for what you have given to the people of this city. I know just how hard you have worked and just how difficult it is to curate an event of this magnitude. You should be so proud of what you have achieved here, once again. And the fact that we can have events of this caliber in Dhaka and attract Nobel Prize winners, Booker Prize winners, Hollywood stars, television personalities, and a veritable galaxy of intellectual luminaries from every corner of the globe is something that we can all be proud of. And of course, not only does the Dhaka Lit Fest bring the world's best to Bangladesh, it is also increasingly a platform for Bangladesh's best to showcase their work and ideas, not just to a global audience, but also to their own countrymen and women. Dhaka Lit Fest has quietly become one of the most important platforms for Bangladesh's own homegrown writers, filmmakers, musicians, and artists of all stripe and feather, and this is no small part of what makes it so special. But the heart of the Dhaka Lit Fest has always been, and always will be, all of you who are here in the audience and who have supported DLF with your presence and your pocketbooks over the last 4 days. When I look over the participants of the Lit Fest, I do not see, as some might aver, a festival of the elite, except insofar as a literary festival or a festival of ideas will always appeal to a self-selecting audience. I see everyday Bangladeshis from every walk of life united only by their love of literature, music, and the arts, and their desire to engage with ideas and to meet and discuss and dispute with others who share their passion for the written and spoken word. We live in difficult times, both locally and globally. We live in times where freedom of expression is under threat and freedom of thought is in retreat. In the 21st century, we're seeing so many of the battles that we thought had been won in the 20th century being refought. We see so many of the gains we had made being reversed, and we see a creeping authoritarianism reassert itself everywhere. It is at times like these that events such as the Dhaka Lit Fest are even more crucial and important. They help foment a climate of discussion and debate. They inspire people to think, to question, to dream, and to take up the cudgels to fight the good fight. The Dhaka Lit Fest is, above all, a festival of ideas, and it provides a platform for ideas to be expressed, for inspiration to be born, and for the seeds of independent thinking to be planted. By its mere existence, the Dhaka Lit Fest does more for freedom of thought than 100 editorials and 1,000 keyboard warriors. It is for this reason that Dhaka Tribune and Bangla Tribune are so proud to serve as the title sponsors for Dhaka Lit Fest. We feel that nothing can contribute more to our mission of being a platform for ideas and voices that need to be heard than doing everything we can to support this astonishing love letter to the power of the written and spoken word that has and will continue to serve as an inspiration to countless Bangladeshis. In conclusion, allow me to once again thank all of our esteemed speakers, both from inside Bangladesh and out, who have given their valuable time to be here with us and to share their ideas and to truly engage with the festival and the festival goers. It is your generosity of spirit and the eagerness with which you have engaged the audiences that makes DLF what it is. And of course, the biggest thank you goes to all of you who have graced Dhaka Lit Fest with your participation and support. The Dhaka Lit Fest is for you, and it is nothing without you. Once again, for the 10th time, you have shown us what this Lit Fest means to you, and by doing so have assured its success. It has been a privilege and an honor to share the DLF with you, and we look forward to many more in the years to come. Dhaka Lit Fest is back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zafar Sohan. I'd now like to invite on stage Mr. Masroor Arifin, Managing Director of the Citibank, to share his remarks. Mr. Arifin is one of Bangladesh's top prolific writers and a dear friend of Dhaka Lit Fest. Citibank is the platinum sponsor of Dhaka Lit Fest 2023.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's just that, the MC, Master of Ceremony, also introduced me as a writer. Yes, I am. Most of you know me. The foreign guests do not, because I've not been translated, but I translated myself Homer's Iliad into Bangla and Franz Kafka completed stories into Bangla. And I have got 4 novels published. I've won all the awards that is there in Bangladesh to be won, and also 3 books of poetry. So actually, I'm a writer. I am a serious writer. I personally believe that it's me who first time wrote about Abdul Razak Gurna back in 1991 in the magazine called Mati. My essay that time was on post-colonial literature. I was talking about Ekwe Arma. I believe he's from Ghana. I forgot now. That is when I talked about Abdul Razak Gurna and also the new voices. That was 30 years ago from African continent, like, Chinua Achebe, Mr. Gurna and all. Then later on, interestingly, before he won the Nobel Prize and became globally famous, what happened is I happened to be in Tanzania. From there, I traveled to Zanzibar. And there I had a guide, Zanzibarian guide, who featured in my 3 poems so far. He's a friend now. I visited Zanzibar twice. And he was telling me, like, I asked him, do you know that you have a big writer who was born here? And he told me that I only know that the singer, who there is a house, and we went to that house in a stone town. And there's the singer's house, I believe, is very famous from the band called Queen, Queen band singer, Then we visited that house, and I said that, like I pitied him, and I also talking to this hotel that we're staying in, the manager, that I would like to know where Mr. Abdul Razak Gurna was born. And, then I gave up. Then there's a bookshop in Town itself. There I bought 2 of his books. And then I came back. That was 2 years before he won the Nobel Prize. And, I have a large following of 100,000 people on my Facebook in Bangladesh. And 2 pages together, I have a huge following. So I posted a photo and all. And later on, when he won the Nobel Prize, then there is some of my, literary friends said that Mashur Arif visited Tanzania and talked about Gurna and all that. And some people said that, no, now he's claiming that he's not the Nobel Prize winner. But actually what happened is, the post, I posted 2 years before he won the Nobel Prize. But to cut the long story short, these are all known names to me. Nuruddin Farah. Nuruddin Farah is a name. I was talking about him at the press conference with Kaziani, Sadaf, and Hasan Akbar. We 4 have a very active WhatsApp group named Only Literature. Kazi Anis, Mashur Arifin, Hasan Akbar, and Sadaf Saz. Continuously, regularly, we exchange views and all that. I am really optimistic about, Kazi Anis Ahmed. He's a great writer. He has not been read widely here. He writes in English. And there is a tendency of people here, to view writers, those who have struggled and they make their way in life, and here is some sort of a vision that exists about writers, that writers have to be representing the poor class of the people, the oppressed, and all that. And I respect all that. But thing is, that's how they also view us, few of us writers here. Like I'm a bank CEO. People would like to say that first, it's like a pinch. So I enjoy that. So Kazi Anis and myself, both suffer from that kind of a dogmatic notion, perception. But that's not the point. I was talking about Mr. Nuruddin Farah on the press conference day at the press club that, I studied in St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, initially. And there, our first year, he's from a cricket trip was Patthoboi, was part of the curriculum. So I'm very happy that, all these big people are here, big names are here. What happens is, when they come and when our readers, our writers mingle with them, what happens is we cross over into that territory where, new writings are happening. We get to know that, like Pratham Ala, our biggest newspaper, has misquoted me. I had a session that day at the Lawn. It was a 2-hour session. And Mustaq Ahmed, the writer from India, he conducted my session. It was quite full house and all. Pratham Ala today or yesterday said that I said that writers do not have a social obligation or any obligation. Actually, I'd like to believe that, if we do not feel that the obligation of being a moral preacher, being a distributor of justice, perhaps our writings or whatever we write will transcend, will be of different quality and class. Here in Bangladesh, what happens is, in general, with few exceptions like Omiya Bhushan Majumdar, Kamal Kumar, and Waliullah, and few others, our whatever we write is still, our fiction hasn't been able to cross the modernistic notion of doing good for the society. So here again, ultimately the bad loses and the good wins, and there is a victorious ending and all that. So I didn't say that we do not have an obligation. I said that we have an obligation to say goodbye to all those formalistic, modernistic writing. Like this is the year of Joyce's Ulysses. I worked on Ulysses. We had a session on Ulysses 100 years in Dhaka. That itself was fully packed. And that day I was talking to Sadaf Saz, that Sadaf, this is also the year of 100 years of wasteland. So we should hold all this so that we know that what was written at the high modern phase of global literature, so that we know that there are things that can be written, that can be viewed, that can be judged, just social justice. Writer's duty is there. Writer's duty is not to, I believe I said that we have an obligation to speak truth to power. And Prothom Alo didn't write it, and yesterday and today I have been criticized heavily, like why a Bangladeshi writer feels that he has no obligation. I basically said that we don't have obligation to go through the modern route and repeat, making justice to the people oppressed. You see, all the foreign guests are here. We see we live essentially in oppressive society. It's a regime, which has done great in terms of giving us economic development and all that, which we needed. But at the same time, in my books, I say that as many birds and trees are there, that many agencies are there who monitor us, who try to stifle us, DGFI, NSI, DB, and this is an oppressive, repressed society. And that's the reason we cannot write here about the three main topics. Those are haram here, haram meaning, taboo here. You cannot write about sex in Bangladesh. As writers, we cannot write about religion in Bangladesh, and you cannot write about government party in power in Bangladesh. You do that, you try that, you will see what happens. So I was talking about all that, and this is the thing, I wrote, my second novel is Althusser, Louis Althusser. The novel's name is Althusser. In Althusser, I tried to depict, what happened in his life. He strangled his own wife, and the communist revolution and all that. What happened to that revolution, and how. Anyway, no, that's not. It's not a session to beat my own drum. I mean to say that we have an obligation, and I mean to say I try to connect that with the presence of these global luminaries here, in the sense that by reading their books, by reading what is being written in Africa, in Latin America, by Borges, by say Ernesto Sabato, by Nuruddin Farah, by Chinua Achebe, by there's so many great writers from Africa, from Asia also, Japan, Kawabata, from Russia itself, then all of us, the readers here, you will get to know, how people are tackling, how the writers are tackling the connection between government and the agencies. Like we are all actors here. And as an actor, I am here. I represent a bank here. Bank is a great actor in the overall governmentality in that space. So there, I basically say, I wear both the hats, writer and a banker. So, no, this is not my session. This is where I just, Bangla Academy, and on the 9th of October, it was again a full house. That was my 53rd birthday, only a few months ago here. That day I talked a lot about my own works. This is not the session. This is to say that I had a great, premonition or kind of premeditation when Sadaf and Anis and Hasan Akbar introduced ticketing. Like, Lit Fest, and the Bangalis are already talking about it being Elite Fest, so, but no, it's not that, and I don't think it is that. Societies are changing. Again, when you say things like that, you think that you're still very much, what you call it, provincial society. We are not that. We are a developing nation. We are marching ahead, and the foreign guests will come, and English books will be sold here. And no, that is not called, loving your nation, loving your language. So I was initially against that, but what happened is later on, I myself got kind of puzzled seeing this many crowd. I think this is a bigger crowd than we see even during Bangla Academy Book Fair in February. So all these are very much heartening. Like now I'm talking as a bank CEO. Next year again, it's my 3rd year participation in Dhaka Lit Fest. Next year I would like to take the first category away from my another friend, Dhaka Tribune, Bangla Tribune. Citibank will be not the platinum sponsor because I will manage through my only literature group, Anis and Anis Bhai and Sadaf, and Taderke I will manage. I will basically say that I will be the biggest sponsor there. And so that's it. Nothing much to say. So is that we should all try to get, what we writers do. That's the last thing I'd like to say. we try to agitate the people in power. We try to agitate the system. And we cannot, make it a beautiful world because we don't have the tanks and machine guns. We have only a pen. So our duty is to agitate, our duty is to disturb them, our duty is to tell you that it's a dangerous world. So that's what we are all doing, and I hope that Bangladesh will be less dangerous. I hope that this government, without they being in power, we couldn't have even enjoyed these dances and these Durga Puja Hindu songs. So it's like, where do I go? If I love my culture, I have only this party to salute and to bend to. And if I wanted to be a Muslim Bangladesh, a different identity which I don't like. So this is the big dilemma that we writers face here. I hope and believe that we will keep on recognizing that we live in a dangerous world, and we will keep on speaking truth to power. So finally, thank you, my three friends. We will always be with you. Citibank will always be there, and my other, foreign big names. Inshallah, we will also make our mark in the global stage. For your information only, my two novels have both been translated, one by Orada Vasina, one by Tisat Ahmed. Kazi Anis is also writing. There are many other great writers in Bangladesh now. I don't know how many have met. And also, Azan Akbar himself, one of the organizers of Litfest, is a good writer. He is working on his novel. When you come, we feel inspired that, yep, we also need to talk to agents. We also need to arrange, I do not know how we can arrange a translation center in Bangladesh. That's not there. That's not there, you should tackle it. First, organizers may think of launching one, and Citibank will give you the money. And I promise that. We need that. We have great pieces of work every year coming out. Those are not getting translated. And we cannot write in English. Creative writing is different from our own, clerical English that we know. So you can think of this, Anis bhai, you're smiling. You can think of this. So we'll always be there. Thanks all our foreign guests. Gitanjali Sri, you are here. You already have big name here, and Shehan Karnatilak is here. And Shehan's session was taken by this literary agent. Yesterday I spent my half day with him. It was a great session. Thank you all for being here. Come again to Bangladesh, and thanks this great audience, great crowd. It has been the best Litfest in this, the 10th edition. I believe this time, like we are going to this, global level, as Mr. Uddin Farah said, that, he will go back and say that the size of the crowd was that of the Donald Trump's inauguration day. Thank you all. Much grateful for taking the trouble of coming to Bangladesh. Thank you. See you again next year. Thank you. So that's all from my side. Definitely come and she will say goodbye to you all. So it's been a real pleasure to supporting literature, supporting culture. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mashroor Arifin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to welcome on stage the director and producer of Dhaka Lit Fest, Sadaf Saz, to share her vote of thanks. I know many of you are excited to be attending the Coke Studio Bangla performance this evening. The concert will begin at Bordhaman after our ceremony comes to a close. Please welcome on stage Sadaf Saz.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. So emotional right now. This is the closing of the 10th edition of Dhaka Lit Fest. The first thing I would love to say to everyone is, It's just such a huge responsibility because this is the most important, I think, part of the entire 4 days. Thank you to you. Thank you, Dhaka, for turning up and supporting Dhaka Lit Fest. We are not scared of controversy when we really believe in something. And we wanted to make this festival sustainable. We wanted to put a value on all of the wonderful artists and writers and creative personalities. We wanted to put a value on our art, literature, and culture. And Dhaka, you proved that we were right. I would love to now thank some people who, without which this festival wouldn't happen. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the audience, and our sponsors, because without whom which we would not be here today. Dhaka Tribune and Bangla Tribune, thank you so much for being with us for many years, supporting us, allowing us to blossom and go forward in the way that we believe in. I would like to thank Zafar Subhan and Zulfikar Russell and the entire Dhaka Tribune team and Bangla Tribune team, as well as GEMCON, Qazi Anis Ahmed, Qazi Nabil Ahmed, Qazi Inam Ahmed. Thank you so much for supporting us all of these years as our title sponsor. I would like to thank Mashroor Arifin and the Citibank board for being our platinum sponsor, for coming through year after year when we really needed it. Thank you so much for supporting arts and literature. It's so important, and we need sponsors like you to come forward and give us the freedom to do the program whichever way we feel that is justified, and always being there to support us. Thank you. British Council has been our strategic partner for 10 years, and I would like to thank the British Council for being a constant partner through all of these years. Thank you very much. I also would like to thank this year's silver sponsors and gold sponsors. So the US Embassy and EMK Center came through as gold sponsor, as did the University of Liberal Arts of Bangladesh, ULAB, and North-South University came board as our silver sponsor. We would love to go forward having different streams of revenue. And so I think this year everybody's proved that all the wonderful people who attend also have a stake in this, and this is also your festival, so thank you. We couldn't do such an enormous festival without the institutions and the state that support us. The Honorable State Minister, K.M. Khaled, Ministry of Cultural Affairs, and the officials and staff of the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Home Affairs, various branches of the police, and the DG Bangla Academy, Poet Nurul Huda, and officials and staff of Bangla Academy. Thank you for your support. There are some people who have supported us since the beginning. Some of us are not here with us now, but I would like to remember them that helped us in the early years. Poet and writer Said Shamsul Haq, actor Ali Zakir, poet Habibullah Shirazi, and folklorist Shamsuzzaman Khan. Thank you very much they've been a huge support, and we remember them fondly. Safazli Hassan Abed has been a huge support as well, and friend of DLF. We miss him dearly. And I would like to also thank the previous cultural minister, Asaduzzaman Noor for all of his support when we rebranded Hay Festival into Dhaka Lit Fest, and he was there by us every step of the way. So thank you very much, Noor Bhai. Before I talk about my team, I would like to thank our families. I'd like to remember my late parents, Jamal Nazrul Islam and Suraya Islam. They're not with me anymore, but they're looking over me, and I know that what they instilled in me from a very young age was to have an open mind, seek knowledge, and encourage my curiosity, and always gave me confidence to follow my own path. And I know that my love for Bangladesh comes from them. And I wouldn't be standing here now. There would be no Dhaka Lit Fest if they hadn't instilled that love for not only the country, but love for arts, literature, science, and seeking of knowledge. So I would remember them. Thank you very much to my sister Nargis and my rock, Kamal Siddiqui. He's here. Thank you for letting me do all my crazy things. And the families of Asan's family, Asan's parents, and Sister Celine, they're always solidly by him. And Anis's whole family, too many to name right now, but they're always there standing by us. Anis's son, Alex, is always there. Usually when I'm meeting Anis late at night going over the program or something. So thank you, all of them, for their support. Okay, now the best team in the world is what we have at Dhaka Lit Fest. And some of these people have been believing in this festival from the very beginning, despite huge challenges, ups and downs, all of these years. Through many of the challenges, especially when there were threats to our own existence, when there were the blogger killings, when there was a lot of political up and down blockades, and after the Holi incident, there really was a risk on the lives of the team, and yet they stuck by Dhaka Lit Fest because they really believed that it was something important. So I'm going to kind of call my team, and they're just amazing. So Naila Azad, Milton Sharkar, Rajiv Rahman, Samad Chaudhry, Masumana Mannan Leena, and Nasir and Masum. Please come. Nasir, Masum. Naila has been with us since the beginning, 2011, Milton 2012, Rajiv since 2014, Samath 2013, Leena 2017, and Nasir 2010, Masum. This is the team that is there day and night and work far beyond their day job. There's so many more people who are part of this amazing team. So I just would love to have the rest of the team up with us here. So Rafi Shumon, Himel, Norshad Ali Hussain, Maleha, Samira, Shamim Bhai, Arif, Imran, Amrita, Nafil. Please, all of you come up. Amrita started as a student coordinator, I think in 2011, the first one. She's still with us. Imran and Arif do the graphics. Samira and Maliha, the program managers. Naushad does a lot of things. Nasir is a solid rock there for me any time of the day and night. I don't know how he puts up with me. Masum, again, the same thing. Samad looks after all the logistics. Lena, admin. Rajiv is amazing. PR, artist management. Milton, accounts. And my beloved creative director, Naila Azad. And I think because everybody's got pretty excited about Coke Studios, so Shihab for sound, Himel, who does all the event management, Shumon, who actually flew down from Qatar to be with us for this 10th. I wanted them all on stage, but they've had to rush off to handle Coke Studio audience, so. I'd also like to mention Mary Rahman. She's not with us this year, but she's been with us for many years. Then we have a much greater team as well. So Maruf, Shahire, Anika, Tasim, Rubab, Shiplu, Rocky, another Maruf, Ryan, Bakbi, Riaz, Zahid Shohag, Russell, Farad Noon, Amina Atik, Preka Proka, Farheen, and then again the GemCon team, Shujum, Sattar, Oporna, Shoaib and Samuel. Thank you. Please, everybody. And she have amazing job on the sound. The fact that you can actually hear everyone speak and not have some keku in your ear. Incredible. Thank you so much. And I would love to ask Asan, Akbar, and Anis to come and join us, my beloved co-directors. This is for the photo. So thank you, everybody, and hope to see you in the future. But, thank you, everybody, for making Dhaka Lit Fest the 10th edition a great success.